Welcome to Who Yelling Now, Season 3, Episode 8, titled The World We Were Taught Wrong. Copyright Mackenzie. What if everything you believe in is only true because you were too young to question it? What if the world we were taught was stitched together by sleepy teachers, reading from tired books, written by frightened men, who only knew how to draw their truth with dull crayons of their imagination? We learn the world before we learn ourselves. We memorize maps before we memorize our mother's face. We repeat the lies before our teeth even settled in our mouths. This episode is for the children who got straight A's in a world built entirely wrong. Here is a story titled The Boy Who Saw the Edge. There was once a boy who believed the world was flat. Not because anyone taught him that. He just wasn't convinced by the globe in his classroom. His teacher told him with gentle confidence that the world was round. He looked at her and replied, "How do you know? Did you walk it?" Adults hate when children ask real questions. So she told him to be quiet and believe what everyone else believes. But the boy couldn't let it go. He went home and stared at the horizon for 3 evenings in a row. And when the sun dipped behind the edge, he swore he saw it. A corner, a fold, a bend in the world like a page turning. And he whispered, "Maybe the world isn't wrong. Maybe the way we explain it is." Dear friends, Travis was 10 years old when he first questioned the shape of the world. Most children question bedtime or vegetables or why grown-ups always look tired. But Travis questioned the horizon. While the other kids memorized globe, maps, and coloring sheets, blue for water, green for land, Travis stared hard at the line where the sky met everything else. There was something suspicious about it. Too straight, too sharp, too final. One day, he told his teacher, "I don't trust the round thing on your desk." She pressed her lips tightly. The way adults do when their certainty is being threatened by someone who still believes in monsters and magic. "Travis," she sighed, "the earth is round. Everyone knows that." He blinked. Did everyone walk it? That question should have been put in a museum. But instead, She sent him to the hallway. Years passed, but the suspicion didn't. By 17, Travis had saved enough money to buy a cheap backpack and an expensive dream. He told his mother he was leaving to look for the edge. She told him, "Be safe." He told her safety was how the lies survived, and off he went. Travis began in the salt flats of Bolivia, an endless white mirror so flat it made airplanes question their altitude. He walked for hours, days, chasing the clean line of the horizon. But every time he reached it, it stepped politely away, like a shy child. Travis muttered, "You're hiding." The horizon did not deny it. Next up was the Sahara. From salt to sand. He crossed the Sahara with a caravan, each dune swallowing the last, like memory being eaten by time. At night, the sky curved overhead, like a mother bending over a child. Travis asked a desert guide, "Is the earth round here?" The guide shrugged. "My son, the earth is whatever shape the wind demands." That was the first clue. Something about flow. Next up was the North Atlantic. Travis boarded a tiny research vessel, headed towards Icelandic waters, the kind of seas that look like they are thinking deeply. He watched the wave rise, fall, breathe. Something clicked. The water never stayed flat. The water never stayed round. The water never stayed still. It was the movement that shaped the world. Not the land, not the sky, not the map, but the oceans themselves. The captain, a stern woman with eyes like stormlight, caught him staring at the waves. "You're searching for something," she asked. "The edge," he said. She laughed, not unkindly. "The edge is water, boy. The edge is water. Everything solid is just pretending." Ah, another clue. Next up was the Mariana Trench. 10 years into his travel, he made it there. Travis got access to a deep sea descent. Down, down, down they went into the place where pressure can fold a submarine like paper. At the bottom, he saw something that altered him. A creature, luminescent, pulsing, moving as if the water itself was thinking. And in that moment, Travis realized the earth is shaped by what flows, not what stands still. If you drain all the oceans, the world would not be round, nor flat, but jagged, broken, incomplete. It was the water that smoothed it, united it, gave it shape. The oceans, in their constant motion, held the world together, the way truth holds a story together. Softly, invisible, insistently. He whispered, "We were never taught water. We were only taught land, and that was the lie." Finally, Travis returned to the horizon. Travis returned to his childhood home. He walked to the same patch of land where he once saw the line between earth and sky and suspected it was a trick. He stood there for a long time. And this time, the horizon did not run. He understood now. There was no edge to find, not because the world was round, not because it was flat, but because the world was fluid. A shape only exists when movement stops, and the earth never stops moving. He closed his eyes and whispered, "The world wasn't wrong. The way they taught us about it was." And he smiled as if he had finally stepped off the map and onto the truth. Here's a poem that aligns with Travis's travel. The world built by water. If the world had no water, it would look like grief, fractured, broken, every wound exposed to the sun. But water, the quiet architect, moves through the cracks, fills the hollows, polishes the jagged places until the earth pretends to be whole. If the world was flat, it would only be flat because water lay down to rest. If the world was round, it would only be round because water stood up and decided to move. Oceans make the continents gentle. Currents cradle the coast. Tides teach the land how to breathe. And we, taught by teachers who feared questions, memorized the map, but never memorized movement. What if the Earth's shape is not a fact, but an agreement between gravity and water? What if truth is a liquid we were taught to treat like stone? And what if the world is only smooth because water is patient enough to hold all our roughness together? My friends, you and I were taught the world was round. Or some of us maybe were taught it was flat, or tilted on an axis, or spinning at 1,000 miles an hour while pretending to be still. But no one told you the earth has a softness to it, a softness given by water, a softness shaped by movement, a softness held together by the things that refuse to stay still. We talk about the world as if it is a solid, unchangeable, decided. But nothing about this planet is frozen, not even the truth. So if you learned the world wrong, that's not your fault. We all did. But you're older now. You are allowed to ask the questions your teacher wasn't ready to answer. You are allowed to redraw the world in the shape it feels, fluid, shifting, alive. Here is another thought to consider in poetic form. If the world was wrong on purpose, what if the world was flat and we were curved? What if walking upright was the original rebellion, a protest against crawling, where the truth was closer to the ground? What if speaking was the greatest betrayal, every word stealing us further from the language we were born with? Silence. What if babble wasn't punishment, but protection? A scattering of tongues so we wouldn't worship one idea ever again. What if we were taught wrong because the truth had too many teeth for a child's soft mind? And what if the lie was the only lullaby the world had time to sing? But what if? And this is the real question. We kept the lullaby long after we grew strong enough to hold the truth. The world isn't flat, but the world isn't round either. The world is whatever shape the storytellers decide to draw. And you are a storyteller now. So redraw it and redraw yourself. before another lie becomes your lullaby. So, my dearest listeners, friends, we live inside the lessons we were taught, even the wrong ones, especially the wrong ones. But unlearning isn't destruction, it's reclamation. It's your right to draw and redraw the map, to return the lies to their authors, to reassemble the world in the shape that fits your eyes, your truth, your living. This is Who Yelling Now? And I'm Olga Foreign. And this is the world we were taught wrong. But it's not the world we have to keep. And today, we learned that the world is water-shaped. See you in the next episode.